Amanda, welcome to my channel. So I wanted to go ahead and finish a book before I came on here and talk to you guys because, well, that's just how I am. I like to be pretty thorough. This month was pretty good as far as reading is concerned. I read 19 books, so that's a plus. A lot of it was on audio though because, man, this was not a good month for me because I got sick like crazy. So audiobooks pretty much consumed my month just to so I could be able to concentrate on the fact that I was not sick, or at least try to. So I do have some books that I want to talk to you guys about. There wasn't really any awful books that I read this month. There was a lot of 3-star books, which to me is just kind of like I could take it or leave it. It was pretty average books, but the only one that I have to say that was just I did not like was I Am Watching You by Teresa Driscoll, I believe was the name. And I did a buddy read with my friend Jessica with that one. Let me see. Yeah, it's I Am Watching You by Teresa Driscoll. And it just did not go in the way that I thought it would, and it should have. And I'm a little bit disgruntled about it. I gave that book 2 stars, which I don't know. And another one that I did like these books, but at the same time, I didn't. It really kind of fell flat for me, and it was Lucifer's Daughter. I ended up, and it is part of the Queen of the Damned series. I read the first 3 books, or I rather listened to the first 3 books, and it's just, I like the concept because the concept is you have this girl, she's a succubus, and she finds out that she is Lucifer's daughter by the 4 horsemen. The 4 horsemen comes to her, and she thinks, you know, that they are the bringers of the apocalypse, and she finds out that it's actually her. The problem that I have with the series is the fact you have a great storyline, however, that's not what they're doing. That's not what they're doing in the first 3 books. Most of the time, she's a succubus. So, yeah, she kind of, with all 4 of them. And it's weird. It's weird. It's good. You get into it, but, it has nothing to do with the story. As I get that she's a succubus and everything, and she has to feed, and that's how they feed. However, yeah, so I ended up giving those 3 stars, but really I think that I was being a little bit too fair, and it should probably be in the 2-star area. So yeah, I mean, so there's some points in the series that's like, wow, this is really getting good. You know, they have a good storyline going on, and then, well, back to normal. So, you know, I'm really stuck between 2 or 3, right? Maybe 2.5 stars. Let's just call it 2.5 stars. But, you know, if that's your thing, definitely go ahead and read them. Now, as far as the really, really good books, I have got a few here. The first one is Full Tilt by Neal Shusterman. This one right here is, this author is pretty much my auto-buy author. If Neal Shusterman comes out with a book, I'm going to buy it. This one is an older book, and I loved this book so much. These kids, they go to a carnival, and a girl goes ahead and approaches them and says these rides basically are nothing, and then they are sent to this carnival, and they have to do 7 rides. They have to complete 7 rides by the end of dawn, and at first you think, what's so special about that? Well, Neal Shusterman has a way. Neal Shusterman has a way of making things amazing, okay? They have to go ahead and one of the boys, what was his name, Blake, he has to go ahead and confront what happened to him whenever he was a kid, and it's just a lot of emotional and mental, just confronting your fears, confronting your past, not feeling guilty about it, things like that. I mean, this book was really, really good. I know it's for young adults, like probably really young adult, but I really enjoyed this. And of course, the next one is definitely a 5-star read for me. That one was a 4-star read for me, but this one right here is a 5-star read for me, and this is Neverwhere by Neil Gaiman. I love this from beginning to end. For me, it was a fairly decently, quick read, even though it's pretty thick. And this actually caused me to go on Hoopla and start reading the Sandman series too. This right here makes you question everything as far as, is this a fantasy book? Is this a mental health book? Is it both? I even went so far as to Google it, and, you just have to read for yourself and kind of judge for yourself, but he really does have a way with words and a way of describing mental health. And I absolutely loved how this ended, and I'm so excited there's a sequel. I really, the only thing that I could really say is this guy and his fiance goes ahead and finds this girl, and she clearly is in need of help, and his fiance is like, just let her go, just don't do anything, whatever. But he was too nice, and he invited to help her out, and so that kind of sends him in a underneath London, and he learns that once he's there, things are completely different. And he wants to go back to London above, and there's adventures and things that he has to do before he can go back to his normal life, or so he thinks. And it's just, definitely go ahead and give this a read. And if you guys are into graphic novels, definitely go into reading Sandman as well. I'm still on the fence on whether or not I want to get the volumes of them, but so far it's really good. And I read the first 3 volumes. I know all 10 of them are on Hoopla, at least on mine. Now this one right here is Life After Death by Damien Eccles. Damien Eccles was one of the West Memphis 3. They were all convicted of killing some boys, and I always felt bad for them. Like, whenever I watch Paradise Lost, I really felt like they were innocent, of course, because of the way that things were spun. And so I needed to read this book. I needed to read it. This is basically after he was free and his friends were free, so that's why it's called Life After Death, because he was on death row. And I did give this 5 stars. I really felt like it was well written, and I really did enjoy it. However, I have a whole new feelings. I have all new feelings on his story, and I really feel like he's guilty, because the more you read into this, the more you feel like he is deliberately removing things from the story. Because I'm not saying that this type of hatred doesn't exist. I'm not saying that at all, but you're saying that the cops are after you and question you multiple times a day, even so far as you go back to your old town and you get off the bus and there's a cop to question you. Why? You're not telling me why. You act like you are the best kid ever, never getting into any kind of trouble at all, and I'm sorry, I just don't buy it. I just don't buy it. I get that you're different. I get it. I get that he's different. I get that his friends did not fit in. But there's something missing to this story. I highly recommend this, especially if you are somebody that is a true crime buff. Definitely just go into this story just with an open mind. And I'm kind of sad that he's free. But, money makes the world go round, and celebrities got behind him and his friends are free. And that's, I'm not sure how I really feel about that. I did finish the selection series, and I do have to say that the last bit of the selection series, you kind of don't need it. It's interesting to see, where the original winner and him, their daughter go through the selection series, but it did not go in the way that I wanted it to at all. The novellas, you could take them or leave them. Really, I don't feel like it is a necessary part of the story. That being said, I did finish the rest of the series of the Vampire Royal series, which was kind of a mistake. I should have not finished it, but I forgot what the first one was about. I kind of needed a refresher. And it's just like the selection series, only it's with vampires. So if you want to, it kind of just depends on what you like to read, but I definitely recommend the selection series over the vampire series. But at the same time, the first one is free on Amazon Prime. So, I mean, it's kind of up to you, or maybe it's Kindle Unlimited. I don't remember which one I read. I think I read it under Kindle Unlimited. Either way, the first book is going to be free through Amazon. So, I mean, it's kind of up to you in which direction to go, but they're pretty much the same story, only Vampire Royals is not as good. And then let's see, I did end up reading number 4 of the Wayward Children. It's called In an Absent Dream by Shauna Maguire, and that is just really good. It's just as good. I'd have to say actually it's better than the third one, but just as good as the first couple. I really like Shauna Maguire, so definitely good going on that one. I did not even realize that I had that one. I almost bought it and realized that I got that book for review. So that one was really good. So if you haven't checked them out, they're really quick reads. So you definitely want to go ahead and, if you're curious, definitely go ahead and check those out. I did read books 7 and 8 in the Nikki Heat series. I really want to go ahead and just finish that series. I've got a couple more that I need to read, but I don't own them. So I'm just going to listen to them on audio. And then Sometimes I Lie by Alice Feeney was really good. It's about a girl that goes into a coma. She gets into some kind of accident, and it's just, oh man, the things that she learns and the things you learn about her, it's just, she's completely aware of everyone around her, and it's just phenomenal. It's just phenomenal. There is another one, Our Kind of Cruelty by Araminta Hall. Man, that one was good and so messed up, and so, oh my god, I can't believe I almost forgot to tell you guys. Seriously, this couple was so psychologically messed up, and the girl is so manipulative, and he is such a sucker and maybe stupid. You go back and forth, like, is he dumb? Is she manipulative? You just, mind blown. That is a mind-blowing book, and you definitely need to go ahead and check that out. So those are the books that I pretty much read that have really kind of stuck into my brain as whether or not it was really good or just really bad. So there's a couple that I didn't talk about because they were just whatever. So, you know, it wasn't a bad month, and I'm happy about that. So be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Bye!